So let's dive into something we all deal with every single day at work. Those security rules. You know what I'm talking about. The constant password changes, the verification codes. We're going to pull back the curtain and figure out why all of that stuff actually exists.
Right? Sometimes it really feels like you're trying to break into Fort Knox just to check your email. You're juggling different passwords, answering questions you forgot the answers to, waiting for a code to pop up on your phone. So what's the deal? Why do we have to jump through all these digital hoops?
Well, behind all those layers, behind every single login screen, the system is really just trying to answer one very simple question. Are you really who you say you are? That's it. And getting that answer right is the bedrock of all digital security.
Which brings us perfectly to our first section, proving you are you. Let's break down how these systems even figure out who we are in the first place. Think about it like this. You can't just walk into a secure office building. A guard at the front desk is going to ask for your ID badge, right? Well, in the digital world, your user account is that ID badge. It's the system's way of picking you out of the crowd. And what's really interesting is that our digital IDs have a whole life cycle, just like a physical ID card. There are super strict standards for this. First, it's created. Then it's handed over to you securely. When you leave, it has to be returned or disabled, and eventually it gets completely destroyed. Every single step is mapped out to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands.
So that username and password you type in every morning, it's not just some casual login. Nope, it's a formal credential, and it's being managed with that exact same level of care. It's all about protecting you and the company.
Okay, so the system knows who you are. Great, but how do you actually unlock the door? Well, that's where your digital keys come in, your accounts and your passwords. Now, here's a huge rule that people don't often think about. Every single person gets their own unique key. Security policies are really strict about this. The reason is simple. Traceability. If something happens, the system needs to know exactly who did what. And that's why shared or collective accounts are basically a security nightmare. It's impossible to tell who's doing what.
And of course, we got to talk about passwords. These are the golden rules, straight out of every security handbook. You never, ever share your password. Not with your coworker, not even with your boss. Don't you dare write it on a sticky note and put it on your monitor. And please, for the love of all things secure, do not use the same password for your work account that you use for your social media. Every one of these rules is just another lock on the door.
But, not all keys are the same. Some accounts, think of your IT administrators, have way more power. They hold the keys to the kingdom, really. So, how do we protect those? This is where strong authentication comes into play. You probably know it as two-factor or multi-factor authentication. The whole idea is that a password by itself just isn't strong enough, so the system demands a second piece of evidence. It's about combining something you know, like your password, with something you have, like that code that pops up on your phone. For those super powerful accounts, this isn't a nice-to-have. It is absolutely mandatory. All right, so you've proven who you are, you've used your keys to unlock the main door. Does that mean you can just wander around anywhere you want? Oh, not a chance. And that brings us to one of the most important ideas in all of security, the need-to-know principle. The official name for this is the principle of least privilege, and it's a brilliant concept. Think of it like a hotel key card. Your key opens your room and maybe the gym, right? It doesn't open every single room in the hotel. It's the exact same idea here. You only get access to the digital rooms and files that you absolutely need to do your job and nothing more. It's all about shrinking the potential for damage if something goes wrong.
And I want to be clear, this isn't just some friendly advice. In formal security audits, like the one this quote is from, this is a make or break requirement. They are looking for one thing, minimum privilege. They want to know, are you only giving people the bare minimum access they need to function?
This is what that looks like in the real world. Most of us, we operate with standard access. We have the keys for our day-to-day work. But then there are a few people with privileged access. They have the master keys to the most critical systems. And there is a hard wall between those two worlds. A standard, everyday account is never given those privileged rights. That power is kept locked down tight.
Oh, and one more thing. This access isn't forever. Not at all. If you change roles or projects, or if you leave the company, those digital keys get changed or taken away immediately. There are constant reviews going on in the background to make sure nobody is holding onto keys they don't need anymore. Okay, so we've covered proving who you are, how you get in the door, and what you're allowed to see once you're inside. So let's just step back for a second and tie it all together. Why does any of this really matter?
At the end of the day, every single rule we've talked about,
Every password policy, every access review, they're all part of a much bigger plan. And I know, it can feel like a pain sometimes, but it's not designed to make your life harder. It's a shield built layer by layer to protect the company's data and, just as important, to protect you.
So if you're going to remember anything from all of this, let it be these 3 core questions the security system is always asking. Number 1, prove your identity. Who are you? Number 2, protect your keys. How are you logging in? And number 3, access only what you need. What are you allowed to see?
And that really just leaves us with one last thing to think about. The tech is smart. The rules are pretty solid. But the whole thing, the entire system, depends on us, the people, to actually follow them. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? With all this in place, what's the weakest link? Is it the technology? Or is it us? Something to chew on next time you log in. Thanks for tuning in.